Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash, the honor, some other apostles, a great millstone, and peace and citation to the hopeful members of the elect, the Bacharim, the house of David, that's been preordained, predestined to be delivered in these last times, and to be the ruling governing body of the nation, Yashallah. I want to get into a lesson on this video I was watching earlier. Okay, this video I was watching earlier, and just watching it put so much anger on me. All right, the sick things that this devil Esau Edom is doing around the world, especially towards our people. All right, he's exposing the hidden U.S. child concentration camps used for trafficking. Right. So these children, Jake children, all right, Israelites, that come over here from the border from like South America or Mexico, they come over here, they get split up from their families, and a lot of them are being sold in sex trafficking or human trafficking, all right? Completely disgusting, man, all right? It's a sick world we live in, okay? And I remember Elder Yashawama going into something like this a while back, and he even said how they might use this as an excuse to implement the MOTB. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, but I can see them doing that. But it says right here in the description, the U.S. is the largest trafficker of children in the world. Children that are illegally kidnapped and brought across the U.S.-Mexico border are then sold off to wealthy Americans, used as sex slaves and worse. If you can imagine anything worse, it's happened, and the corporate media is too scared to touch the story. Yeah, I'm surprised this video's even on this channel, because they're exposing what's going on around the world. All right, I mean they're exposing this topic, I should say, Salakia. But the true prophets were exposing what's going on around the world, everything. All right, everything there is. Salaki, I don't know. I'm seeing this light in the sky. I don't know if it's a chariot or not. Which I saw a crazy chariot last night. All right, I actually took some footage of it, but it was like a force field, like a plasma around it, and I'm watching it. All right, and it's actually going towards Mexico because I live right by the border. And right as I'm watching it, it's like around 1 o'clock, 1:40 something. I'm watching it, passing by me. I'm praising the Lord, and now the heavens. Literally a fireball just came down. It looked like a fireball, came out of nowhere. Just, I'm like, it was crazy. And then it changed trajectory, all right? And then just faded away. I was just so stunned, and I just, wanted to bring that out, okay? Humbly speaking, all right? I wasn't even going to say nothing, but I'm looking at this light. Could be a plane, though. But, that happened last night, so I call out Yahweh Shemashah, the Lord, showing signs in the heavens, the chariots, that's our soon-to-be deliverance. But anyways, without further ado, let's play this video, all right?
Well, the United States is the largest trafficker of children in the world. Children that are illegally kidnapped, brought across the U.S.-Mexico border, are then sold off to mostly wealthy Americans, used as sex slaves, and worse, if you can imagine, worse than that. It's happening, and the corporate media, of course, is largely ignoring the story for whatever reason. They refuse to touch the story, and when they do, they briefly touch it, and then it disappears. You can't find links on their website. It vanishes very mysteriously when they cover these stories. Many of these kids, these children, are kept in hidden concentration camps in the United States. Yes, I said it.
Yep.
Hidden concentration camps in the United States. We showed you one of these facilities a few months ago here on Redacted, a Walmart facility, a former Walmart facility in Brownsville, Texas.
And they're going to use these Walmarts for FEMA camps as well. All right, well, it says concentration camps, but they're going to use these Walmarts to put everyone, as many people as they can, in there, all right, when sudden chaos and all that hell starts to break loose.
Holding hundreds, if not thousands of children before they are sold off. A whistleblower who worked at one of these...
Actually, let me get a scripture for that, since I said it. All right, I believe it's in Zechariah. Is it Zechariah? How it says, roughly paraphrasing, some people were put in captivity. It was Zephaniah. Bear me for 1 second. Okay, maybe it might be Zechariah. Bear me for 1 second. Bear me for 1 second. If not, I'm just going to look it up. I'll just look it up. All right. For time's sake. Okay. I forgot how it went. I think third part of men. Captivity. Women ravished. That's all I can remember. Word, verbatim. KJV. Okay, Zechariah 14. Okay. I was close. Okay, I was close. Okay, 14 verse 7. And it says, hey, what was it again? Salakia. 14 verse 2. Okay. It says, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, raped. All right, and that's what what's gonna happen soon. And a lot of these women are getting ravished. Well, I won't say a lot of these women, but these migrants, these young women, they are getting raped. What do you think sex trafficking is? All right, it's against their will. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity or concentration camps, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city.
At one of these facilities, MVM is the name of the facility, has come forward to expose all of this. Carlos Ariano is a former U.S. immigration contractor, and he joins us now. Carlos, welcome to the show, and thank you for coming forward to share your story.
No, thank you for having me. It's like you said, when it comes to child trafficking, there's so much evil behind it that people don't want to touch the story, and if they do touch it, they touch it briefly. And it just goes to show you how much evil there is behind it, that it holds that much power over people, that it's kept in the dark.
Damn ad.
See this ad? I made it with AI, and it gets me paid every day of the week.
Yeah,
Sunday
but this
mornings when I'm sleeping.
this light that I'm looking at, this is definitely a chariot, because I'm telling you, I saw it just raised up, and I thought nothing of it. I thought it was like a plane, but it raised up, and yeah, it's still stationary. It's just right there, and it's big. All right, low key, it looks like it's kind of like spinning. I don't know. Hey, call it y'all Bashamasha. I don't. Hey, that's insane, man. Call it y'all Bashamasha. Man, but let's go back now. And I might break this down in parts. All right, I might stop it around like 10 minutes or so. And do more parts later.
And hopefully we can expose this story. We can shine a light on it today. So anyone watching this, hopefully you can share this story out, share it with people who can spread it around to try to put an end to this awful crime against humanity that's happening in the United States and around the world. So, Carlos, before we dive into some more specifics of this, can you just give us, our audience, a background as to what exactly you did working as an immigration contractor and this company?
Yeah, so he's going to go into it, all right? And at first he didn't know, all right? Supposedly he didn't know until he caught on, which, he's Jake. But he started to catch on. He's basically like a whistleblower, all right?
Is it a government company relationship as a U.S. government contractor, or was it separate from the U.S. government?
So the way it works is the U.S. government is washing their hands, keeping their hands clean by going out and handing out massive contracts to organizations that they like to call NGOs, non-government organizations. And these NGOs,
under the rug organizations, And like I said, he was one of them. He didn't know, because his whole thing was to bring children, to their sponsors, all right. All right, that's what the term he named, and he soon started to catch on because he's gonna go into it later how one person like him, a contractor, was saying how the child was saying, "I don't know this person," but yet they didn't care. They were like, I want to just hurry up and drop this kid off because they'll drop him off in places like L.A. and I want to go and party because once they do their job, they can go out, you know, because their plane leaves the next day, so they want to go out and party. All right, this shows you that the love of many shall wax cold, and iniquity is abounding. All right,
Contracts for food services, for laundry services, for educational services for the illegal immigrants. Everything under the sun that you can think of, everything that we have to pay for, they will hand out $100 million contracts to give these services for free to the illegal immigrants. And the company that I work for specifically, their job is they hold the largest contract to move children around the United States of America. So my job was to move children from point A to point B. And my job was to pick children up at the border and then move them to their sponsors. I've been to every state that you could name. I've been there. I've been to North Dakota, Vermont, Florida, dropping kids off, all of them. And New York City and Florida, the most popular ones. New York State and Florida. And the other job that I did, I've done this immigration work my whole life, but two main jobs that stick out the most is I was part of the management team. I helped ran the largest migrant hotel in New York City, the Row NYC, where I had to look over 5,000 migrants in the heart of Times Square, a block away. And my job was to, whatever these migrants wanted in New York City, whether it be spicy food, non-spicy food, or laundry services. We got laundry services for them. We had Uber services for them. If a migrant in New York City came to me and said, I want to go here in New York City, I want to go here in Brooklyn, but we're in Manhattan, my job was to get an Uber for them and things of that nature.
How did they have so much power? I mean, a migrant in New York City, was this a person responsible for the trafficking? Or were these are people that come across the border and you were providing sort of, luxuries for them? Can you explain that?
Well, the way it works is it's separate NGOs. So the one I escorted children for and the one I worked for in New York City are two separate companies. But the thing that people miss here is, for example, people think it's Governor Abbott who's sending all these people on buses to New York City. And it's not just Governor Abbott. Governor Abbott can account for like 15, 20% of the people. Because if you look at the numbers that the state of Texas provides, they've bussed over about 30,000 people maybe to New York City, but New York City has about 80,000 people currently in their system. So the rest of these 50,000 people are going to NGOs like Catholic Charities at the southern border. And I think Ann talked about Catholic Charities, Ann and Michael. So Catholic bus tickets, airplane tickets, all on the federal taxpayer money to get these illegal immigrants from the border to New York City. So a lot of these illegal immigrants are finding their way through federal taxpayer money from the NGOs to get around the country. But the thing is, they want you to believe that it's Governor Abbott. Governor Abbott is busing people, but it's nowhere near the same numbers that these federal taxpayer-funded NGOs are moving people across the country.
And so the federal taxpayer-funded NGOs are bringing these migrants. We'll get back to the children part of this in a second. But for instance, in New York City, bringing these migrants to New York City to live in this, I guess, a hotel. By the way, New York City, Times Square, I used to work at Fox News, 1 block away from where you're talking about. Right there in Times Square. Right there, next to, like a block away from major news organizations, The Today Show, all of the major media, ABC News, all of them a block away from where this is happening, and total radio silence on this. So when they're at these hotels, in New York City, what are they doing? Are they children? Are they adults? And then what happens to them?
So my hotel was a family hotel. So I had families spread across 28 floors. So from floor 1 all the way up to 28th floor is full of illegal immigrants of family units. But the thing is, they don't do anything all day. You talk to these people, they're not in a rush to leave. They're not in a rush to get out. So that's what my concern was me being familiar with the way these government contracts work. I would tell these people, hey, I'm looking out for you. If you have a family member who can help you out and wants to take you in, my advice to you is take them up on it, because one day this hotel will close down and they're just going to toss you out to the street and you're not going to have anywhere to go. So please, if I'm saying this in a good way and not in a bad way, I'm looking out for you, you got to go. But the thing is, these people would not take me seriously, because Mayor Adams had no rush to push people out. Now that it's gotten out of hand, now he's handing out 60-day notices where he's telling people you have 60 days to find a way to get other kind of housing, and now you're going to be out in the streets. So now that he's enforcing the 60-day notice, now that's why you're seeing these people out in the streets in tents, and they're spilling out over to the streets on the videos where they're sleeping on the side of the road, is because they didn't run this the right way from the beginning. And for example, the hotel that I worked at, why would you put people all the way up to the 28th floor? Because these migrants are not going to be happy when it.
Yeah. Let me get the book of Isaiah. What's that? So then I go down to Egypt. Slovakia, let me see what scripture is that. Right. Isaiah 31 verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, see America, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because there are many. Because everyone thinks America is, they used to think, all right, now America's crumbling. Everyone can see that, but they think that America's that golden city, all right, but it's crumbling. Okay, and all these migrants that's coming over here, they still believe in that old America, that's a better life over here, okay, which is to some degree it is to some degree, of course, all right. It says, because there are many in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh Bashmashai, right? Okay, so they don't seek the Lord, all right? They don't seek the Lord, all right? And you have the prophets out there that's proclaiming the Lord, okay? And our people reject it, okay? But a lot of these migrants come over here and they do try to make a better living over here, but they trust in this white man's system, And this man is the devil, okay? This man is the devil, man. So let's go back.
Because these migrants are not going to be happy when the time comes to leave, and you're going to have to get the National Guard in there, and you're going to turn into a shoving
Look at that.
match.
And that's all Levi right there, too. Don't get twisted. It's not just all Issachar and Zebulon. No, it's Levi. All right? I see it all the time. Tell me, when I go to Mexico, I'm close to the border, all right? I see nothing but Issachar, Zebulon, and Levi. Levi be right in that line, too. And they threw out there in T1. Some of them got, some type of prosperity, if you will, all right? They got it easy, all right? They're keeping their head above water, but a lot of them are just, well, I don't want to say a lot, but the ones I've seen, several of them are just through, they threw out there.
And can you imagine them shoving each other, pushing each other, punching each other on the 28th floor? Someone's going to fall out.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would you even do that? Why would you fill this hotel up the whole way? And it's terrible. It's terrible what's happening in New York City, and I don't see it getting any better. It's just going to keep getting worse. I see it ending up like the Paris riots out in France. That's where it's headed.
Man. Yeah. Sedition, man. Riots. All right. All out hell is going to break loose. Hey, that's spiritual that he said that. Okay, because that's going to be one of them. All right. That might be one of the scenarios. Okay. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 15. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up. Esau's gonna blame these migrants, coming in. All right. Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand their power. Right. So they're gonna go against the government. All right. They're gonna go against this government, man. You see, which the word government means mind control, by the way. All right. Govern. Or govern, mind, mental, all right? It's like I said that backwards. Govern, control, govern, control, mind, all right? So controlling of the mind control, that's what government means, okay? And the government has manipulated the minds of these people to believe whatever they want. You see it in the news all the time, okay? But these people are going to go against the higher authorities, all right? And it's going to be all out hell breaking loose, okay? It's going to be like what you see in France, but times a 10. And over there in France, in Paris, to be exact, all right, Paris, it's rough out there. They're throwing Molotovs at the police. The police are beating up the civilians, all right? I'm pretty sure there's some death accounts they're just not bringing out in the news. But yeah, it's wild out there in France or in Paris. Hell, I can actually just real quick, because I'm going to stop this anyways in a minute. I'll do some parts. I'll do some more parts in it. Let me just put Paris, France. Let's just see what pops up. Yep. Paris Nike store attacked by protesters. It's 2 months ago. Well, that's about 2 months ago. Paris demonstration goes ahead despite ban. France protests. Well, a lot of these are 2 months ago. Let's just type in riots real quick, see what pops up. Paris riots as Macron lifts pension age to 64. Oh yeah, I remember that. That was, yeah. Look, see, that's when they started throwing the Molotovs at the police right there. Oh, that's in Mexico. All right, but damn. But it was riots all over. Fire, protests. It says in Mexico, throwing fire at the police. That was when the C-19, the whole lockdowns. That's when the whole world was rioting. But see the fiery riots in France. Look at that, cars on fire. Look, after a teen shot dead by police. See, that was 2 months ago. So it was crazy out there about 2 months ago. All right, I don't know if it died down exactly. Let's go back. I'm gonna play a little bit more.
So let's get back to the children in the facility we featured here, this former Walmart facility in Brownsville, Texas. You worked there, correct?
So my job was, I did work there, but my job was to take kids out of those facilities and hand them off to sponsors across the country.
So can you walk me through that process? So you're an employee, you get what do you get, an email? Do you get a text message that says, Carlos, on Tuesday, we need you to take these children to their sponsor family in Florida? And how did that process unfold? Can you explain that?
So yes, we would get text messages, we would get phone calls at 7 p.m. at night, 6 p.m. at night.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. All right, 10:10. Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. We'll do some more parts later. So right now, I'm gonna, shut it off, but I'm gonna come back to it. All right. So with that, hey, shalom.